All right, hello viewers. Welcome to my show. How are we doing? Good evening. Welcome to Things Nobody Tells You with Dr. Luke. This is a weekly conversation about life, power, trauma, culture, and the systems that quietly shape who we all become. I am Dr. Luke Chike Igweobi, international development expert, author, and human development scholar. It's my pleasure to have you. Here we name the truth. We name the truth the way they are, right? The truth we were never taught about family, about identity, about mental health, about leadership, and about society. We're going to have honest, uncomfortable, but necessary conversations. So today, I have such a pleasure, such an honor to be hosting my honorable friend, Reverend Ambassador Chuck Eke, political economist, policy expert, author, filmmaker. To be honest with you, words would fail me, but you can learn more about this amazing personality at chuckeke.com. Ambassador Eke, welcome. What an honor. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you, Dr. Luke, for having me. I just want to thank God. It's an honor and also a privilege to be with you, a professional, not just in one field, but in multiple fields. Thank you and welcome viewers.
It's actually the other way around. You are the multi-talented professional, and you are the one tree that makes the forest. So it's an honor to have you to today's show. And by the way,
To God be
viewers,
all the glory.
thank you very much. By the way, viewers, just so you know, I'm going to be co-hosting this show with Ambassador Chuck Eke, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to announce this to you. So you should get excited because guess what? This gentleman is an embodiment of wisdom and knowledge. And hey, come on, Harvard trained. Don't get me started, right? So if you're not excited, I am excited for you. So hey,
Me
welcome
too,
once
I am for you.
again.
We are birds of identical plumage flocking together.
But something simple that flocks together. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a few questions, and I like to have you honest answer some of these questions, right? So the first question I have for you, it's from Harvard to multidisciplinary creator. For anybody who doesn't know you, they're wondering. So, what is one thing nobody tells you about the journey from formal education into real world impact? In fact, before we take this question, I'd like to ask you first. You got into Harvard, something so difficult. How did that? How something so almost like near impossible, right? For most people, they want to get in. Remember how we talked about figuring out, the how. So, how did you get in? How did that happen?
I can just say it's just the grace of God. I'm a faith-driven person, and whatever I do, first I commit into the hands of God, and it comes to pass. Simple and short. God enabled me and gave me favors here and there.
Wow. You're an amazing inspiration, I'll be honest with you. And I want to thank you for remaining an inspiration, and that's wonderful. So you heard it from the horse's mouth, faith driven. God gave him grace and he got it done. So hey, God can give you the grace to do it. Um, so by the way, that's wonderful. Now to my question though, I asked from Harvard to multidisciplinary creator. What is one thing that nobody ever tells you about the journey from formal education into real world impact? I mean, you're doing so many things. Like I don't even know where to start. Policy expert, political economist, author, filmmaker,
Thank you.
entrepreneur. You are the one man band. What is it that nobody ever tells you about the journey from formal education into real world impact?
Thank you, Dr. Luke. One thing no one tells you about this journey from education to career is that you will fail along the road.
Mm.
That the journey of life, whichever way you look at it, will never be like a bed of roses. That before you succeed in any good venture, educational venture, career venture, self-development, just name it, that the path is spangled or dotted with failures. But your perception about these failures matters a lot. Therefore, you got to see each failure as a stepping stone, just like Edison, Thomas Edison, the guy who was credited for inventing the electric bulb.
Electric bulb, yep.
He said he failed, some would say it's 999 times. Some would say it's 9,999. The bottom line is that he failed so many times.
Right.
And at each epoch in his journey, he considered each failure as a stepping stone. So therefore, be prepared for failures, but encounter each failure with the mindset of positivity and optimism. Thank you.
Be prepared for failure, but encounter each milestone with positivity and optimism. That's impressive. That's deep. That's deep. Be prepared for failure. Now to pick up from there, getting prepared for failure. That's one thing that I don't think most people think about, right? Everybody wants to succeed. Everyone wants to break the barrier, want to break the bounds, and everybody wants to hit the ground and run. You want to get the grades in school, Well, nobody ever thinks about what if I fail, right? So thank you for bringing that.
Failure is part of the deal. Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. Now, so your work spans writing. So you're a writer, you're a filmmaker, mentorship, and social change. So how do you decide which medium is right for a message you want the world to hear? At each point in time.
The decision is multifaceted. By this I mean there's just no one decision medium, and there is just no one platform. So when I make decisions, I often consult with my wife. You won't believe it. She's the backbone of my life, since we are married. And then also, before that, I consult with God. I seek guidance from God. And then also, I consult with peers. So pretty much like network to get the opinions of other people. Okay. Thereafter, I begin to consider. Now I've consulted, I've sought opinions here and there, and I get back to decide on which of these options I will trek upon, plow through. Then once I make up my mind, I begin to now get into networks, formal networks that I belong. Many of them are, one-on-one conversation, mouth-to-mouth relationship in terms of dissemination of the information I want to send out there. Okay. And then, of course, the formal peer groups, social media groups like LinkedIn, Facebook, and then, of course, creating a platform using what is already available, Facebook and YouTube, to disseminate the information I have.
Wow, that's interesting. So what I heard is God, wife, peers, social network, right? Because on the peer. That sounds like a very interesting.
That's to make decisions. Then after making the decision, I now reach out to these the networks of 1 and 2 persons, network of 10 and 15 persons, network of church members, network of like on Facebook, and all that, WhatsApp group, forming a group on your own and populating it with people of like minds.
Have you actually heard it from Ambassador Eke? He says decisions are made from God, wife, and peers, and then the choice of the medium, the right medium through which the right message is passed across is, network, right? Lateral.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's very impressive. Now let me ask you this: a lot of people say they want to live their dream, right? Live their dream in quote, right? So you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. That you own beautiful um, a beautiful movie that you produced, Rainbow, Living Your Dream. So what truth about the pursuit, or rather, what truth about that pursuit do most people never speak out aloud? What truth about the pursuit of living your dream is it that most people never speak about or speak out loud about?
Thank you. This is one of my favorite areas, dreams. No wonder I shot a film titled Rainbow Living Your Dream. I want to let you know and let our audience know that first and foremost, God is the creator of dreams. That's the truth. They don't let you know.
Right.
Real dream, godly dreams, dreams that will impact society for good. Dreams that will bring about what the scripture, because as I told you from the beginning, I'm a faith-driven person.
Okay.
Dreams that will bring about what Prophet Joshua called the good success. So if there's good success, that means there is bad success. Success that is not grounded.
On the contrary, right?
Yeah, in the will of God, in the ways of God. That's bad success. I don't want you to succumb to that, because when someone begins to have the desire, the dream to do evil to succeed, then of course that dream is not coming from God. See, I'm able to distinguish between two sets of dream.
Right.
But in the beginning, God is the creator of dreams. God dreamt, let's make man in our own image. So to that extent, dream is even a vision. So what we don't tell you is that God is the creator of dream. He's the giver of dream. If you have any good dream, don't think you are the one actually nursing it. God is putting something in you.
Awesome.
And
Wonderful.
want to use you as a conduit to achieving something. You remember he created the earth for 6 days.
Right.
And on the 7th day he rested. And before he rested, he gave man mandate. He gave human mandate to continue creation as co-creator from where he stopped. So when you begin to have this dream, this vision to invent electricity, this dream to invent the aeroplane, it's God. And that's why in 1904, the Wright brothers, who were children of a bishop, because of their intuition based on God and their inclination to God, God gave them a dream to invent an aircraft. So basically what I'm saying is that God gives you the dream, and then he enables you to achieve it. Even if at the end of the day, people don't give him credit. And that's what they don't tell you. Because sometimes they don't know. That's what they don't tell you.
Wow. This is amazing, Ambassador Eke. This is wonderful. In case you're wondering, Ambassador Eke is a movie producer, and I really urge you to go to the nearest movie theater, nearest to you, and watch Rainbow Living Your Dream. It's out now. It's also on major online portals.
We've not put it on major streaming network. Okay. That's what we're still working on, still negotiating.
Oh, good. Okay, great. That's wonderful. So we are very excited. We're looking forward to. We're very, very excited about this movie. Let's imagine. You can hear it from the horse's mouth. If you want to hear about dream, living your dream, you gotta watch this movie. This movie, I think, was shot in almost how many continents? Almost across
two continents of America and Africa, specifically in the U.S. and in Nigeria, comprising 125 actors.
Wow.
Well, yeah, drawn from multiracial backgrounds, white Americans, Black Americans, Asian Americans, Spanish Americans, and of course, Africans of Nigerian descent.
Wow. Congratulations, Ambassador Eke. Sounds a very impressive project. We're very proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, viewers, if you're just joining us, I'm such an honor. Today I have Ambassador Chukwudi Eke. Ambassador Chukwudi Eke is such an awesome, amazing gentleman that I'm very proud to have known for a while now. He's a political economist, a policy expert, he's an author, a filmmaker. Like I said, words would literally fail me in describing this gentleman. You can find more about him at chuckeke.com.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, this is Things Nobody Tells You with Dr. Luke. My name is Dr. Luke Igweobi, and I'm an international development expert. I'm a human development consultant, a clinician. I am a development novelist. And it's a pleasure to have you join today. Things Nobody Tells You, it's a weekly conversation about life, about power, about trauma, culture, and the systems that quietly shape who we become. Once again, I want to thank you for joining today. Ambassador Eke, one more question for you. So tell me, your latest book, Breakthroughs, talks about breaking rules. And when I sent that book, I was like, whoa, look at that. Breakthroughs through breaking the rules. That was a good one. Now let me ask you, what's one rule you wish more people would challenge and why?
Thank you. The title of the book is quite compelling, and that made one of the greatest publishers to come after the book. Unfortunately for me, the book was signed into contract with TBN, Trinity Broadcasting Corporation, the largest faith network in the world, watched by so many millions of viewers across the planet Earth. Breakthroughs through breaking the rules. There are so many rules to break that people don't let you know. One of the foremost rules to break is status quo. The people out there in the industry, film industry, publishing industry, just name it, medical field, they will tell you to leave things the way they are. They don't let you know that stay in the comfort zone. And that's what they don't want to let you know, because sometimes they don't even know it. That stay in the comfort zone is the best thing, so that you don't get entangled and have criticisms or adversaries at your place of work and all that. But that's the one major rule we have to break, the rule of status quo. Things remain the way they were 50 years ago, the way they were during the COVID time. I had that challenge in a place. I was placed in a leadership position as the president of the organization. This organization was formed like 1995 or thereabouts, and some folks got together and produced the constitution of the organization. And since 1995, things have changed. A lot of things have changed. I said this constitution needs to be revisited, amended in certain areas. And that became a point of departure for me and the principal functionaries or leaders in this organization, because they don't want change. So things people don't tell you about, one of them is that change is something that is permanent. They don't tell you that change is something is something that happens every day, every moment of our life. And that's what brings about success.
Wow.
So we have to break the rule of status quo. Period.
Breaking the rule of status quo. Wow. This is very, very inspiring. Now let me ask you this. So talking about breaking the rule of status quo, in your experience, where do people most often get stuck when turning creativity into impact? I mean, whether it's in filmmaking and writing or leadership, where do people most often get stuck when turning creativity into impact?
Thank you. The area people often get stuck is in the area of tradition. Let's do it the way it's been done before. And if you do things the way they've been done before, you will not get the same result most of the time.
Right.
Because the scenario, the circumstances which enabled the traditional process to succeed would have given up, would have completely crashed. So if you want to do the same thing the same way it was done yesterday, you get stuck. So it's about novelty. It's about innovation. It's about creativity.
Okay.
And of course, doing things in the uncommon way to get not just common results, but uncommon results.
Doing things in a common way to get uncommon results.
Yes.
Wow. Doing things in a common way to get uncommon results. Uncommon results. Now let me take it from there. Let me ask you this, right? As someone, you come with a lot of background in spirituality, in faith. As someone who mixes spirituality with enterprise, what's one truth about purpose that people often avoid until it's too late? Okay, so let me go over that question one more time for clarity. So you're a person of spirituality. Okay, you're a person who mixes spirituality with enterprise, right? Different. You're very multifaceted. So what's one truth about purpose that people avoid until it's too late? Purpose.
Yeah, I dwell on the confluence of spirituality and secularism. By this, I mean, I'm at the convergence of the secular life and the spiritual life.
You sure are? Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a background I want to set before answering the question. Because just as a guy I mentioned earlier, driven by faith, that will have a God who is defined by Trinity. God is a triune being, and he said, let's create man in our own image. That means that humans also are triune beings. So we have the body, we have the soul, and the spirit. Take it again, the physiological body, the soul, the psychological being, and the spiritual being. So, but what they miss in their purpose is often detected by the need to be what they call politically correct.
Right.
Someone wants to be politically correct in this cancel culture and miss the reality that God has for us in his own purpose for creating us, for which he has put a purpose in the dreams he gave us. That to the end, his name will be glorified.
That's right.
So they miss that spiritual purpose. And of course, even in trying to remain secular, they also miss the purpose of their invention becoming positively impactful in human lives.
Wow.
I don't know if
That's
I
very
said it correctly.
Yeah, you did. Absolutely. That's very inspiring. And talking about purpose, right? So I know you had a job working with the government in Nigeria, and you left a remarkable track record, right?
The glory of God.
Yes. So the one question I have for you is, as someone who's faith-based, how did you cope with? Most people. People are aware of the challenges that's linked to corruption and embezzlement and all that. In most of the global South, right? Most of the developing world, where you have people in government looting and all of that and engaging in corruption, corrupt practices. How were you able to overcome temptations? How about that? Temptations. Again, this is, top difficult questions, but how were you able to overcome challenges or temptations that to lead that that could have led you to in a different direction from your your drive and purpose to achieving a stellar record in government?
I think it's mainly discipline and a purpose-driven life. If you have a purpose in life to achieve, that drives your actions. And then, of course, your mindset. Your mindset defined by the purpose in life that you have for yourself. So that purpose bets and reinforces discipline. Like, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve this. When I went in there, I saw the opportunity as an opportunity to evangelize Christ, to put in the fear of God in the public realm. And that also defines some of my activities, like doing peace programs. There was this particular peace reconciliation program we did among sub-ethnic nations, gathered ethnic nations that for many years were fighting over land, and the disputes continued. Souls were destroyed. And then, brought them together in a hall they call Trimnel Hall in Ashaka. Huge crowd. And during the reconciliation meeting, we brought in men of God. Souvenirs were shared. And found people crying and crying for that reconciliation. And they're like, oh my God. And during my tenure, I was the first commissioner to undertake community visits known as town hall meeting, something I also learned, from the US here, visiting communities, and it was just went viral in the newspapers that, hey, this is what back then Reverend Chukwudeke was doing. So a life-driven purpose, grounded or based on the fear of God.
This is very impressive. You found an opportunity to evangelize and to create reconciliation, while people would typically find an opportunity to loot, right? I mean, in my recent book, Economics, the book talks about how people, the geopolitics in most of the developing world, where people get into government and see the opportunity to get a piece of the cake, right? In this case, a piece of the meat, a piece of the cow, a piece of the suya, right? That's mentioned in both my two books, Suya Politics, Suya Economics, and in your own case is the reverse. That's very impressive. I want to applaud you for.
Yeah, thank you. But that's just a tip of the iceberg, because that's in the area of peace. Also in the area of security, we did a lot. In the area of delivering the dividends of democracy, ensuring that projects are cited in almost all the communities in my mandate area, and ensuring that those projects were also completed, including schools, hospitals, also roads, lights, and water.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very glad for some of the insights you're sharing tonight. This is very important insights, and people need to hear about this, even people in government and people, working in different sectors of life. If you're just joining us, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel, and click the like button and then the notification bell so that you get our videos each time we'll have a new video released. I want to thank you very much for joining. A couple more questions, Ambassador Eke. Now, so your work engages with issues like race, inclusion, and empowerment, right? So what's a truth about cultural dialogue that most leaders avoid saying? Now, we know that most of the conflicts that we have around the world is linked to not the lack of willingness to seek for a proper dialogue, right? And there's always an issue in reconciliation and in bridging the gap among factions. And so tell me, what it's considering that you've engaged in issues around race, inclusion, and empowerment, what's the truth about cultural dialogue that most leaders avoid saying?
Yeah, the bottom line there is the avoidance of the need for equity and justice in the system. Because if equity and justice prevailed at both ethnic and religious levels in our cultural setting, most of these challenges wouldn't be there. Because politics, cultural affairs are defined by interest, not by the commonalities such as equity, justice, fairness, credibility, meritocracy, and all of that. All those principles which govern and control decent civilizations. Because when you bring those principles of morality into being, most of them who are the peak of leadership will not get anything. So they prefer not to tell you or emphasize issues of equity and justice.
Right.
Because once you bring these two items into play, including meritocracy, credibility, they won't get it. And so that's why they call it politics at the cultural level, at the ethnic level. It's a dirty game. So that's the thing they keep avoiding to bring to the table.
Wow. That's a very impressive take on this question. And I have a couple more questions for you before we round up. And the more I could listen to you all night, and the more I'm listening, the more I'm getting inspired.
Thank you.
But I have a couple more questions. So let me ask you this, right? So, looking at systemic challenges that is predominant in most parts of the world, right? From poverty to educational gaps, right? What's one thing that most policymakers and influencers don't openly acknowledge?
One thing they don't openly acknowledge that the problem is there. It's just simple and short that the problem is there. For instance, see what is going on right now. They don't acknowledge the fact that racism is there. They don't acknowledge it.
And how can you solve a problem that never existed, or you never even confirm that it's there?
Yeah. So that's the challenge. So what they do is to whitewash the problem and call it different names to enable them bring solutions that will never ever address the problems that they didn't acknowledge in the first instance.
Interesting. Wow. Interesting. Wow.
Just like in Nigeria, for instance, I don't want to delve into politics. They don't acknowledge that the Igbos are marginalized. They don't acknowledge that there is a genocide, even when it's open to the world. So if you don't acknowledge a problem, how will you be able to solve it as a policymaker, as an administrator, as a president, for instance?
So it's not like somebody who has a sore on their feet and the sore is rotten and smelling and it's infected, and they are not seeking medical care because they don't even believe that there's a sore whatsoever on their skin, right? Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you're a medical personnel with a doctorate degree in that field. So that analogy is very, very perfect.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow, thank you so much. Listen, let's take one more question and we will wrap it up. Let me ask you this, right? If you're such an accomplished professional, right, in different areas, in career and business. So if someone walks into your life today as a mentor, you're mentoring somebody for the first time today, right? So what's the first thing that you will tell them about failures and success? I know we started with that, but I wanted you to kind of now tell it in a way that let's say you're talking to somebody who just gets under your wing today, saying, you are my mentor. This is what I'm looking to. I want to find the truth about failure and success in such a manner that almost nobody talks about.
First and foremost, I want them to give me a brief history of themselves, him or herself, 3 or 5 minutes, just like you would normally do as a medical practitioner when a patient gets into your
An assessment, right?
to your clinic. You
Right.
want a history,
Absolutely.
kind of diagnosis.
Yep.
So once you get that history, you first begin to let the person see the good things you see about him from all he or she said. And then those things he mentioned as potholes, as mistakes, as failures, you begin to put those failures, potholes in positive, proper perspectives to let him know that he actually had not failed. But those were stepping stones towards success. Then, of course, I tell him a lot about myself, my experiences in life,
Right.
and the need to stay focused, to stay determined, and be positive-minded, like a faith-driven person, to also use the opportunity to engage him in the things of God.
Wonderful. They need to stay focused. They need to stay positive minded. And those are going to be pattern words for our episode tonight. I want to thank you, viewers, for joining us. Such a pleasure. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel. Okay, I'd like you to click the subscribe button and click the notification bell. Like and follow our pages on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok, so that you are aware each time we have a new video. We're very excited about our new program, new show, Things Nobody Tells You. Now, this is a weekly conversation about life. It's about power, about trauma, culture, and the systems that quietly shapes who we all become. Again, I'm Dr. Luke Chike Igweobi, international development expert, author, and human development scholar. And we're here to name the truth that we never thought about: family, identity, mental health, leadership, and society. I've been talking with Ambassador Chuck Eke, a political economist, a policy expert, author, filmmaker, and it's been an honor. It's been a lot of inspiration. Ambassador Eke, I want to thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Liu. It's a privilege, a honor, and a pleasure to be with you. You are such a great personality, and to identify with you, for me, is a huge honor. And this event, this program, is a timely thing. And then I want to thank our viewers for tuning in and to encourage them to always come back for more episodes, because this is like engage in one, eat one diet, eat one plate of food, and you're asking for more. like I've become Oliver Twist right here. I want some more.
In case you're wondering, too, Ambassador Chuck Eke is the president of Drug Abuse and Sex Trafficking Foundation Inc. here in Massachusetts.
A non-profit 501c organization.
Non-profit 501c3 non-profit organization here in Massachusetts, United States of America. I mean, he doesn't get any better. By the way, but let's talk about that before we wrap up. You've just recently received an award, a global peace award from an international organization that has UN consultative status. Can you bless us and give us a parting word about how that happened and what we should know about Ambassador Chuck Eke?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to talk about a little bit, but very, very briefly. For more than 35 years, I've been engaged in the United Nations system. As far back as 1999,
wow.
The organization that I founded, known as Foundation Against Social Trauma and Environmental Ravages, FASTA, was recognized and also enlisted in the United Nations Yearbook for African NGOs, 1999.
Wonderful.
That same 1999, the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, with headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya, gave my organization, of which I'm the founder, mandate to organize World Environment Day in Nigeria, in Lagos specifically. And
Awesome.
before that event, or prior to that event, the governor of Lagos State, Governor Marwa, gave us a piece of land to do demonstration concerning tree planting. And all these are things that in one way or the other bring about peace. Peace doesn't come on its own. It's through different activities.
Right.
I've also been involved with the United Nations Forum on business and human rights. You know the importance of promoting human rights. In 2017, I was involved in a program in Geneva. All these are documented. I even mentioned some of them in my 2021 book. So I've been involved in so many UN activities at the local level, at the community level, from my own community, at the local government level, in my own state of Delta State, at the national level, and internationally. Even as a chairperson of Rotary Foundation, and participated in the promotion of peace through the elimination of polio in some countries in the Western Hemisphere.
Wow.
I've done a lot in the area of peace. Going back even to year 1991, with my NGO participation, we were there in, first and foremost, partly, but let me just go straight, in Sierra Leone, where I got involved with some of the ECOMOG people there. It was through my participation in the NGO there that I was introduced to the ADC, to the head of state, Valentine Strasser. So I've been involved in a lot of peace initiatives.
Peacekeeping programs.
Yeah, and currently, we, including you, got involved with the United Nations Commission for Crime and Drug Control.
Right, UNODC.
Yes, and you know that it is in controlling the activities of drug trafficking and all that, that you can also bring about peace in certain sector of the economy.
That's right.
It's not all about nations fighting wars and trying to settle the war that bring about peace. Peace can come about in different forms.
Right.
Even reaching out to the less privileged with empowerment programs. All these bring about peace. And in 2022, after the NSAS protest, during which innocent Nigerian youths who were just protesting peacefully were murdered in Lekki, I went to Nigeria and single-handedly organized a conference and empowerment program, including skill acquisition, at a church. We use the church as an avenue, an arena, a hall, to gather youth from all walks of life, Hausa, Yoruba, and we held skill acquisition. I invited my friend, Dr. Sam Amadi, Professor Sam Amadi, who became the keynote speaker, and some members of the Federal House were there. So in all this, we've done a lot in peace promotion. If I should go on and on and on with
this is very well deserved. Ambassador Eke, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I can listen to the gentleman all night. This is wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The newest Global Peace Ambassador.
I appreciate it.
Chike Eke. It doesn't get any better than this, man.
And I give him the glory.
You earned it. You worked so hard. You've invested a lifetime, demonstrated a lifetime of passion and commitment
public service,
to service of the people, and entrenching peace among communities, in community level, state, federal, international level. So, this is so well deserving. And I want to thank you for what you represent, or who you embody.
I give God glory.
Listen, it's such an honor that I'm going to be co-hosting this podcast with you. I'm very excited, right? It doesn't get any better. I mean, who else could be better, right? It's such an honor. You bring such an amazing ambience. And I want to encourage you viewers to make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss any single sentence or single word that this gentleman has to share with us. I mean, again, it's an exciting time to be alive. Ambassador Eke, I want to thank you for joining tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Luke.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir. So we're going to be back again with another episode very soon. Again, like I said, I encourage you to subscribe and like our channel and follow us so that you are going to be always notified and aware whenever we come on. Things Nobody Tells You with Dr. Luke Igweobi. It's a pleasure to have you join us tonight. And on behalf of my humble self, I want to thank you for viewing, and I wish you a very beautiful night and a very beautiful rest of the week. Take care.
Thank you.